Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Anybody that's new, welcome. So the reason for the season, I'll start off with that. Today we were going to do the Jenga block Manger Nativity scene. I'm going to try to keep it simple. I tried something a little bit different with the blocks today. We are going to be using the tumbling tower blocks from DT, aka Jenga blocks. I use Well Bond, which you can get at numerous stores. I heard Hobby Lobby. I buy it at Lowe's. I usually buy the bigger bottle and just pour it in the smaller bottle because you get a lot more for a couple dollars more. You get almost double, actually I think just over double the amount for that. I do not suggest ever using hot glue, only if you are going to just glue on a couple pieces. I always suggest using the Well Bond or any other E6000, but E6000 is toxic. You should wear a mask. Just make sure whatever glue you are using to read the instructions in the back, just because you might have to wear a mask. You can use Gorilla Glue if you'd like as well. We're going to start with the base. So this build is going to be 248 blocks. So the base is going to be 7 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's going to have 10 blocks on each row, and that equals 70. Now I do suggest when you are gluing your blocks together that you use the L-shaped ruler. As you can see, the blocks are not always cut perfectly, and it's just better to use something, otherwise they're not going to be placed very well. I find from one box to another, some of them aren't exactly straight. So you can get the ruler at DT. I suggest this if you do work with a lot of blocks. So we're going to do the back of the manger. Now I'm going to cover part of it because I did glue pieces together like I normally do in my videos. So for the back, we are going to do 4 rows, and each row is going to be 16. So you're going to have one, glue those 2, another 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 one, glue those 2. You will have 16 on this row. You're going to need 4 rows exactly like this, and then you're going to glue them together, which will be 66. So there's another row attached, the 3rd row attached, excuse me, and the 4th row attached. This is 66 blocks together. Now you will know when you are gluing them together, there'll be a row that is attached like that has double beside each other, and that's totally fine. It will go exactly, fits the length of the back of the base. And you're not going to glue it on the bottom, you're going to glue it on the top like this. When we glue it on, we're not there yet, but I'm just showing you. So it will be glued on like this. Now, with the back of this, I should say this is 64. We're going to add 2 Jenga blocks. I haven't glued them on because I wanted to show you what one looked like. I'm going to glue them on right here. Now, if you want to add 2 more blocks, and this requires cutting, I'm not going to do it for this one because I just want to show you guys that you can. You can't really see them. You would put them here and you would cut them on an angle. You just got to make sure when we put the top on that it's cut properly. I might just cut them anyways to do it, but you don't have to because you can't really see much of here because it isn't. I'll show you here. Because it's on an angle like this, so it is a lot shorter on each side when you do it. I'm just going to use this here for example. It's only a little piece missing, but it's required, but you know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to put the 2 here, and you're going to glue them here. Once we have that done and you have those all glued, we're going to do the sides, but you're only going to glue it together once we have the sides. Now the sides are similar to what we did. So you're gonna need 2 of them, but I'm only gonna show you one right here. The exact same process, 1, the other one, 2 more, and the 1. So that one equals 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you got 7, and then you're gonna need another 3 rows of those 7, which are 28. So those are gonna be the sides. I'm gonna glue those 2 Jenga blocks on top before I glue this on. So I'm just gonna show you here because obviously you can't see. I'm just gonna put something here like this. So once you glue those on, now these are gonna go the exact same way with the 2 right here. And they're gonna sit attached to the back and attached to the bottom. Once we get this glued on, then we will move on to the next step. All right guys, so I have this gluing. So I have the 2, I'm letting it dry, but while it's situated on the back, I can move it because it's been a couple hours, but I still wanna let it dry overnight. We're gonna add the top on it. Now we're gonna do exactly as we did for the side. So when I was about to record this, I realized that I was off about like 1 inch on the top, that the lip of it didn't go far enough out, and we can't have that. So we're gonna add 8 blocks, 4 on each side. So we're gonna do exactly like the side. So remember how we did the sides were 28, and I'm just hoping nothing falls apart while I show you. We did the side that was glued onto the back and to the bottom. We're gonna do 2 of those. So this, instead of 56, because we're gonna add 8 blocks, 4 on each side, we're gonna add an extra lip. So we're gonna add 4 blocks like this. I already have one glued together because I was doing something else. So it's just gonna have an extra little lip, and that extra little lip, we're gonna hang it over the front of the manger. Sorry, I know. I'm showing my crafty Christmas nails. I usually don't go this crazy, but my nail lady has decided to do something a little different with my nails today. All right. So like I said, I wasn't gonna put the little extras. You can cut these on an angle here. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna take those 2 pieces I just showed you, but I'm gonna show you. I am gonna glue them off the side in a second. When you put the peak, just gonna make sure that you have the best sides that are gonna touch the most. And you're gonna center it. So right down the middle would be the center of the manger, right down the center. Gonna glue it on top. This side's not the best to glue together. Oh, we got a winner. You're gonna glue it right on the tip, right on the side here. You're gonna dab some on the top there, on both sides. And you're gonna make sure that you have the same even spacing out on each side so it's not more lopsided like that. But when I glue this on, I'm gonna have those extra blocks. Now, I just wanted to show you when you have it on, see how the little, when it's flat, flush to the back, there's still that little piece there. That's why we're gonna put the extra one on, the extra 8, 4 on each side. So it's not gonna stand properly. So you guys know, this is gonna be my last tutorial, I think, until the new year. I am gonna be taking a couple weeks off. I have family in town, and I am going out of town for New Year's, so I will not be around. I do have a quick and easy one if I do get time. I'm super swamped at work, so I will try to do a fast one if I can between now and whenever. So this is what it's going to look like. So you have the little gap that comes up a little higher than the front, and that's what we want. So that's why we're gonna add the extra blocks. I'm gonna glue those 4 blocks on each side, let it sit overnight, and then we're gonna start back tomorrow morning and move on to the next step. All right, so it's totally glued together. I think it looks really great. It's solid, it's sturdy. I let it dry overnight. Now this little crack here, we'll deal with it after. I am gonna paint it, and I am gonna use some gel stain from Mini Wax. It's called Chestnut. I'm gonna paint that, and I'm gonna let it dry. Now you can also use DT paint if you want. You don't have to use a gel stain. I just really liked how the look of it is, especially when I just did my fireplace. I thought it looked really good. So I am gonna use this one. Once it's dry, then I'll come back and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so I have let this stain sit all day, and I did a good wipe on it. Turned out really well. I just love the color of it. Now for the top, right in between here, we are just gonna stick some hot glue. It's pretty solid, but I just wanna make sure that it has an extra hold on it. Once the hot glue dries, I will just take some brown paint from DT and just paint right over top of it, just so you can't see the glue when it glues. When it dries, like the clear color of the glue. Now on the top, we are going to zigzag. I have these. Now, if you can't, I got these pack, and I always say this in my video, but in case you're new to my channel, I get a 10 pack from Amazon, the fairy lights, and I just love how I haven't had any problems with them. And this is a second pack from a different company and still haven't had any problems. And I'm going to use one of these. Now, if you have the battery operated pack, you can stick it at the bottom right here. It might see, like you'll see it through one of the holes or part of the holes. We're going to put some Spanish moss on the bottom of the manger. So you are not going to see the battery pack. Just make sure when you glue it on, just like this one, keeping whatever one you use that you have accessible once you glue it on. I'm just going to use some hot glue to glue the battery pack on, but just make sure it's accessible, that when the batteries do die, that it's easy to change. And I'm just going to take these fairy lights, and I'm just going to wrap them all around, inside and out. And if you do have the fairy lights, I am just going to glue it on the bottom. Actually, I can glue it right on the top here, because it just fits perfect in between the little gap in the little holes here, that you won't be able to see it from the back, or sorry, from the front. You won't be able to see it once you stick it in the, glue it right on the back. And then I'm just going to wire and just wrap it around a couple times over to the other side, all the way around, to get a nice lighting effect for it. And the great thing about putting the lights with that, and just being with all the holes in there, that it will just shine. You'll see, well, I'll show you after. It's just gonna look really good. All right, I just wanted to show you. So I did end up adding a second battery pack. I didn't find it lit up as much as I liked, so I did add a second battery pack. The first battery pack, I went in and out, like zigzag, in and out, all the way up, and it actually came 4 times. The second one, I only went in and out between these 8 holes, just so it gave more light directly on that spot, so it would go right down. Now on top, depending, I wanted to put some greenery on top, so it really depends on what kind of foliage you want to put on top. So I looked, because I had a big garbage bag of different kind of plants and stuff like that that I've collected and don't use on certain products. So I had one big vine like this. Now this vine, I did go to DT today, and I could not find any Christmas, any plants, nothing. So that's why I looked in the bag that I've had, and I came out with this one. Now I believe this one is from Dollarama, that I've had it just for a long time. So what I did was I just cut some off, and just gonna put it, I'm just gonna hot glue and just hang it over, go from the middle on each side. And you can put as much as you want. You could do, I know DT had those round, what do you call it? The Christmas wreath kind of thing, like it was in a circle. It depends on what you want on top. You don't have to put anything. I just wanted to add some green so it will pop. And I will just hot glue those from on both sides. I'm just putting it on funky now, but so that you have just like, I'm going to show you sideways, kind of a nice look like that. I know you can't see that, but I'm going to get those glued on, and then we're going to move on to the next step. All right, now that I got all the greenery on top, I like it how it's just full and very, just makes it more pop. So I wanted to put on the front right here, I wanted to put a star, and I had my heart set on this star. Now it's from DT. I guess you put a little tea light on it. The problem is I can't get the wire off, and I've tried wire cutters. It's just way too, it's very thick. I was able to, no problem, to get the base off it, but I have my heart really set on this one. I know there's a bunch of other stars, but for that reason, I don't know, I just really want to use this star. So after playing with it, I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna have glitter, and it's really messy, guys, this star from DT. I'm just gonna conceal it. I know I can't stick my head right over there, but I'm gonna conceal it with the wire right there and hang the star more into the front of the manger. But I think that's just gonna work because I really want to use this star. And I even tried pulling it off in the back, and it just started bending the star. So I don't want to play with it anymore. And I think I'm just going to take a little bit of this glitter off, just file it a bit so it's not shiny at that point. And I'm going to put that star right on front. All right, guys, so I put on the star. I think it looks great. It is concealed here. It turned out really well. I did get my Spanish moss finally. Happy about that. Now the figurines, there's different things that you might, I know they have the little wood ones, and I had one and I can't find it. Would be, the house here would be too small for it. You could also make the Jenga block manger shorter if you want, taking a layer or two out or making it shorter. If you wanted to use the wood cutouts, that required a little bit of painting, and I'm not artsy fartsy like that with painting people. But I was able to get these figurines from Dollarama. I found they were quite expensive, being $4 each instead of buying an actual, excuse me, nativity set. They did have the 3 kings and the angel. I just didn't want to make a really big one, manger, just because I'm running out of space in my house. And I just opted out for having Mary, Joseph, Jesus, the cow, and the donkey. Now, if you do have a Dollarama is, if you're from the US, Dollarama is just another dollar store that we have here in Canada. It's like a $5 and under kind of store. And they do carry a lot of similar stuff that DT carries. I'm not sure if maybe your Dollar Tree Plus, we don't have that here in Canada, but if your Dollar Tree Plus stores carry the figurines. I am just going to glue these guys. I'm going to do it really simple. I'm just going to put these guys in there. I'm going to glue them down, and I'm going to put some Spanish moss. Once I get that done, I'm going to turn the camera over and show you the final craft, the final manger. All right, guys, so I got the Spanish moss in, got the figurines glued on, and I just think it's absolutely adorable. Turned out pretty well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm gonna try to do one more before Christmas, and then I will be taking 2 weeks off. I will be taking requests for 2023. Thank you for watching. Happy crafting, and see you guys soon. Bye.